Welcome along to the third video on a brand new channel, and it's MCFC Fanatic with me, Keith, and I'll be hosting this channel. A very long time Blues supporter, and today we're just going to have a little chat, like it's a pre-match chat. We've obviously got Brighton on Saturday at the MX Stadium, 5:30 kickoff, I think it is. So yeah, I mean, obviously we can't. There's no point in kind of putting, a team up on screen and saying, right, because nobody can. I mean, only a fool second guesses Guardiola. I mean, for all we know, he's going to play Guardiola as a centre forward, and Edison will be playing in midfield. Who knows? We don't know. But just a little chat about. Obviously, all football fans are the same, aren't they? We had a really disastrous result against Sporting. We all had our head in our hands. But then, as the days roll on and another game comes up, of course, we think we're going to turn it round against Brighton, and we're all full of beans again. Well, maybe not full of beans, but you know what I mean. All football fans are the same, aren't they? So, one or two thoughts on, the team for Saturday and little transfer rumours. I'm just going to show you a couple of little transfer rumours that, from fairly reliable sources that I use on X, and I'm always tuned into them. They're usually fairly near the mark. But just before we get into that, City Extra have posted the breaking news. The Premier League has called clubs to an emergency meeting on November the 22nd to vote on proposed amendments to sponsorship rules. Clubs have received proposals in a 14-page document focusing on the outcome of City's legal challenge on APT rules. I thought the Premier League had won that. All the media seem to think that the Premier League had won it. Who knew? But back to transfer news, and as we know, with Rodri being out all of the season, we've known for a long time we really did need nobody can replace Rodri, but we do need somebody in there that can take over from him if he's out, and obviously he's out for a while, and that midfield area is a real problem for us. And Tommy's Hairdo, again, another X account that I follow quite vividly, if you will, because he's usually fairly near the mark, and he's saying that midfielder Martin Zubimendi and his team are up to move in January if the right opportunity presents itself. Previously rejected Liverpool is an extremely close friend of Rodri's. So I've watched a few clips of this lad, and I've been on Blue Moon, and watched a few City commentators, and this lad seems to be very highly regarded. So maybe in January, who knows? The problem is with the January transfer window is that any players who are world class, and let's face it, we don't really want any players less than world class. In January, players tend not to move if they're world class, because whoever they're playing for, it's kind of mid-season for them, isn't it? And they don't move. But you never know. You never know. I mean, one thing I would like to throw in the hat, and I haven't actually seen anybody say this or put this idea forward. And I know he's out injured at the moment, but why do we not give John Stones a run there? Because he's played in midfield for Guardiola and looked very good. His passing range is really good. He's obviously a defender, so he knows how to defend in there. I would give John Stones a bit of a run, but nobody seems to be saying that. So, I mean, what do I know? Certainly Gundogan and Kovacic are not the answer there. Maybe either one of them with somebody else who's a bit more mobile, but our midfield is very slow. In fact, to be honest, at the moment, I'm tearing my hair out, and I'm sure a lot of City fans are. We have no pace in the team, really. The tempo is awful at the moment. The number of times that, we win the ball back, at the back there, and we're tapping it about between the centre halves. Why not move that ball quicker? Because by the time we've done that and got into their penalty area, the defence is all back in. We definitely need to do something about that. Rico Lewis, we need to speak about Rico Lewis. Great little player. As I've said before in the previous episodes, it's all right having these young players with great potential, but they've not got the experience. And if you notice quite a lot of the time, as opposed to the likes of let's say a Kyle Walker from 18 months ago, Kyle Walker would, he would go down, he would be a wing back, he'd cut in, he'd do all of that kind of thing. John Stones, he would play there, he would cut in. But they would also be able to get back if there was a counter-attack. And that's where we're suffering at the moment. And the problem is, Rico Lewis, as good as he is in those little pockets, he's found wanting because there's space there for people to run into. And, well, he's not really covering it. Well, I don't think he is anyway. Haaland up front. Now, of course, we got beat by Sporting, in the week. And Gyökeres up front. I know about Gyökeres. I've been watching him for a long time. But all of a sudden, they beat us in the Champions League, and all of a sudden he's going to United. He's going to Arsenal. I've even heard the fact, he might be coming to City. Gyökeres, he's a big name all of a sudden. He's always been a big name. He's a good striker. The big problem we've got, and it's a double-edged sword, this, because we've got Erling Haaland up front, who is a big problem. He's a big problem for defences. I've been supporting City for a long, long time, over 60 years, and I've never seen a striker, to be honest, I've never seen a striker like him, full stop, never mind playing for City. He can score goals that you just wouldn't think possible. He's a machine, he's a monster. I mean, there are bonkers people about at the moment saying he should be benched on Saturday because he's not doing it. Well, he won't do if he doesn't get the service. And then we're back to the tempo. If the tempo was quicker and we got balls up to him quicker, then he might be able to do something. He isn't getting that at the moment. But the other side of the Haaland problem is that because he's a world-class striker, he's probably, arguably, the best striker in the world. Who is going to want to come and sit on the bench and be setting fiddle to him? Alvarez certainly didn't. We got good money for Alvarez and that was good business. But who are we going to sign? It's going to have to be somebody who is quite happy to play setting fiddle. And then, of course, the drawback with that is they're not massively, they're not brilliant, are they? We've got Nunes, who's coming to the team. Looks a very useful player. I think I would like to see him used in a different position. I feel a bit sorry for our wingers a lot of the time because they basically stand out on the touch line. We know about Guardiola's philosophy. Get the chalk of the touch line on your boots and hug the. But what they tend to do generally is they stay out there and then push the ball back in. Grealish gets a lot of grief. For me, if Grealish was given a bit more free rein, I mean, he was brilliant at Villa, wasn't he? Give Grealish a bit more free rein and not just have him as a pivot there to just receive the ball and then pass it back inside. I mean, I don't know. I think Nunes could be, he's not world class, but I think he could be a very, very useful player for us. But I would play him slightly differently. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't have any options because Doku is out injured. Well, this is another talking point, isn't it? The injuries. Are we playing players at the moment who are still carrying injuries? I.e. Doku, Walker, De Bruyne came on for the last 5 minutes against Sporting. Are they fully fit? Are they still carrying a knock? Are we having to play them? Because we don't really trust the young kids. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, Grealish has just been called up for the England squad, which is absolutely bonkers. Because if he goes and trains with the England squad, that's off the scale ridiculous. But anyway, on the other side, I don't think we've replaced Mahrez, although Savinho is showing early signs. His first touch, very, very good. He can certainly dribble. He can certainly... But then, you see, there again, our wingers, they do the same thing all the time. The one thing I do like about Savinho is that he bucks that trend, doesn't he? He doesn't do the usual thing, stand on the touchline, pass the ball. He tries to get past players. And why not cross the ball into the area? We've got the machine in the middle, Haaland. Get the ball in the box. But no, no, no. We have to play this pretty football that Guardiola loves to play. I can't criticise him because, as we know, he's won a lot of trophies for us. But at the end of the day, sometimes I do tear my hair out a little bit, particularly when things are not going great in a game, or for the last 3 games, they've not gone great, have they? Get the ball into Haaland a bit quicker. You know, people are criticising him at the moment. It's ridiculous. He's not getting the service. De Bruyne in the middle. We are missing De Bruyne an awful lot, but I do wonder. I would never... There's an awful lot of, like on Blue Moon, if you go on Blue Moon, there's an awful lot of people on there calling out the likes of Walker. Oh, get rid, he's useless. You know, De Bruyne, he's past it. We need... I mean, that's so disrespectful. These players have been absolutely immense for us, and I would never do that on this channel. You know, as a City fan, I've learned over the years, you support your players through thick and thin. And, well, we have to support them, don't we? Okay, De Bruyne, he is looking a bit injury prone now. He's getting on in years a little bit. I still think if he can keep himself fit, he is a very valuable asset to have. But I do wonder whether we shouldn't be looking for a younger version or somebody else who can see that pass. I mean, some of the balls he's played in for Haaland, when him and Haaland are on form and motoring, my word, there's no better kind of combination, is there really? Obviously, Rodri's out. I have said about John Stones playing that position. I don't know what you think about that. Put something in the comments if you like. You may think I'm absolutely doolally. But I personally think John Stones could do a really good job there. And the defence, well, the defence at the moment is getting a lot of stick. But I remember when Guardiola first came, I remember Vincent Kompany saying something after about half a dozen games. And Vincent Kompany said, it's really hard playing this system of Guardiola's because you're basically backpedaling. As soon as the opposition get the ball, you're backpedaling because you're playing such a high line. And okay, we learned it and we were very, very good at it. The problem is now is that we've got Stones out, we've got Diaz out. Diaz is a big loss in my opinion. I don't think he's at the level he was a few seasons ago, but Diaz is one of those players who, when things are not right or organising the line or whatever, he's got this, hasn't he? He'll say, right, come on you lot, get him by the scruff of the neck. He's a real talker, motivator. He'll bark at players. And we don't seem to have that at the moment. You know, Gvardiol, as good as he is, as good a left-back as he is, we've not really seen him at centre-back, but as good a player, he seems a very quiet player. Akanji seems very, very quiet. Right-back, he's an issue. It's a problem. So we've got problems all over the place, haven't we, at the moment? And it's... this is not, I'm not, I'll get the violins out and stuff. We've seen some great stuff at the Etihad. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And I will never, as a City fan, I will never forget what those players have done for me personally, because they've given me such joy. I mean, well, it's a bit of a sad thing to talk about, but the Champions League final that we won, it was the first time I'd seen my brother for 4 years. He lives in Stockport, but because of COVID, I have issues myself, health issues, and he had cancer. And he had lesions on his spine. And he thought that they'd sorted it all out. And that night, we met up at his house. We watched the Champions League final. And, we won that game. And we hugged in the middle of his living room. And it was a great, great moment. Unfortunately, he did die about 5 months later. So very, very sad. But, like I say... this City team have given me and my brother so many great memories, and I will never knock this team. I'll never knock Guardiola, and I'll support the players to the hilt. Oh, and before I forget, if you've seen my shirt and you think it's knockoff because the colours are all wrong, it's not. I have a green screen, so it's the Etihad's blue. I know it's not blue. the Etihad writing. It's not blue. It's the right colour. It's not knockoff. Yeah, green screens, they change all of the colours, and I don't normally have a problem because on my other channel, my Football Manager channel, I normally wear posh shirts, and we don't have a problem with colours on that. Of course, on this channel, I'm wearing my City shirts, and there is going to be a bit of a colour clash sometimes. Anyway, I don't want to go on too much in this episode. I want to try and keep these episodes nice and short and snappy so people can just sit and watch them, 10, 12, 15 minutes at the max, really. And, you can just sit, enjoy them, comment down below if you disagree with me or if you agree with me. And like I say, at the moment, it's early doors on this channel, so I'm just working my way into it. And like I say, this is a pre-game episode, so I'm not giving that. Well, there is no team news, is there? But I've just given you my thoughts on players, positioning, style of play, and you may disagree with me. Again, down in the comments if you disagree or agree with me. So I will see you over the weekend again for the post-match analysis, and let's hope we can pick 3 points up and let's get our season back on track. Can we do it? I really hope we do.